It's a Friday morning. On the phone with us is our good friend Douglas Viviani, host of Everything Old is New Again, along with David Cohen. Hey, before we go any further, let's go ahead and, folks who are just tuning in or haven't heard the show, give them a little synopsis or the mission statement, I guess we could say, of Everything Old is New Again.
Absolutely. Each week, everybody at Everything Old is New Again has some fun. What we do is we examine a current and popular topic of pop culture and discuss its origins. We follow where it came from and take a little trip through time and try to figure out why that particular topic is still popular to this day. And we use a lot of clips to jar the memory, and we have a lot of fun along the way. The idea is to try to bring something different, open a door to some different type of entertainment on the radio and to have some fun.
Well, Douglas, everybody has been waiting all week long to find out, did you take your first grader to see Jurassic World?
Actually, I did. And one of the
Father of the Year right here, folks. We're talking to him. Father of the Year right here. Okay.
But one of the things that put me over the top is that she kept on talking about mentioning the names of 3 or 4 other kids that were definitely going to see it this weekend, and maybe we'll see them at the theater and so forth. So that put me over the top, saying, you know what, I'm going to roll the dice here. She's seen all of the Jurassic movies that I've shown her on the DVDs. She's dinosaur crazy, and I figured it's time. Let's go. One of the reasons why I did that is that it's the I just saw that in 6 days it took in $275 million in the U.S. and $600 million worldwide. So someone else that has a 6-year-old had to have gone to see that movie as well.
I was reading an article last night on the movie, and it said that there's the scene where the pterodactyls are flying and attacking people,
yes. And
it said the guy that steals is not, was it Chris? Who's the star? One of the stars is Chris?
Yes, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt. Okay. It's not him. It's a guy who's running and grabs 2 margaritas and keeps on running. Did you see that?
Yes. In fact, it's like those drinks are like $10-15 at a theme park. So they were valuable to this guy, almost more valuable than his life, I guess, at that point.
Were there any good scenes where the dinosaur comes out and bites the guy on the porta potty at all? That type.
Yes, thank goodness they weren't attorneys. They didn't pick on attorneys this time. They just picked on the general public. As you remember, in Jurassic Park, right. They had the attorney being eaten by the T-Rex. But yes, and they did stick with the basically not too bloody. A lot of adventure, a lot of fun. They took a different twist on this, so it wasn't a rehash. I think Chris Pratt is excellent. He was from Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's got some great little quips here and there, which it's nice to have some comedy in there as well. So I could see how that's going to be probably the biggest movie of all time, they're predicting, and that's really even beating the Avengers, which this weekend, I should say this summer, has so far grossed $1.3 billion. So you talk about, like, wow, these two already are blowing away the records of Spielberg and what he really has started, I think, with the summer movies since 1975. I remember going to see Jaws as a kid of 11, 12, 13, actually 13 in 1975, and Jaws, boy, was memorable, and I can remember the experience to this day. And since then, the summer movies was something spectacular with Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Back to the Future. I don't know, Jim, do you remember your experience on some of these?
When you just said Jaws, I can remember going to see Jaws and sitting there, and there's a scene, and I remember to this day, I'm 59 years old, so I remember this from the time I saw it through today, and it scared me, and it still scares me, and I know it's coming. I don't know why. There's a part where they're underwater, and this head rolls into this opening of a sunken ship, and you go, ah! And then you move on, and it's like, ah! That's always scared me. And the part when Richard Dreyfuss is throwing the chum, and he's, they're not going to, shark, and he turns his head away and he's talking. There, the thing comes up out of the water.
Absolutely, it was a work of art. I think it's the seminal work of summer blockbusters. I don't know if they stumbled onto that or not, but that really brought about the summer blockbuster. And it's been fun ever since. I remember just water skiing on the Long Island Sound with my dad, and just falling and which is inevitable, and you sit and wait for the boat to come back. And I remember distinctly hearing in the back of my mind the song from Jaws, and looking over my shoulder, where's that shark? It better not be coming.
I think everybody did, because I can remember skiing on Lake Comanche here and doing the same thing, going, man, I wonder if there's sharks in this lake. I wonder if there's freshwater sharks. So Anyway, last night I watched Pirates of the Caribbean on TV, which is that was a 2003, I guess, 2003 blockbuster during the summer. Yeah, that was a big one. And then I see also, he's back. The Terminator coming back later this summer too, huh?
Yes, Terminator will be back this year. We've also got Fantastic Four this summer coming up, and Ant-Man, which I think actually looks very funny but very good.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, they've really gone, Hollywood's really gone crazy with these summer blockbusters, and that's right up the alley of Everything Old is New Again. There's a bunch of movies there and themes that we can run with, because as we said, we look at the past and see where we are going in the future. And obviously it's alive and well with these movies. With Spider-Man was another one that came out, 2002. So these roller coaster movies are terrific, and I think you remember who you saw it with and where you saw it, especially as a kid, and they just hold a special place in your heart. And I hope my little girl remembers. I don't think she will at 6 years old.
She might.
You never know, and we'll start the trend. If there's a really good movie, I'll bring her.
My oldest son, who's 33, he remembers, and I do too. We went and saw a matinee, a weekday matinee of Robin Hood with Kevin Costner.
Yes.
And he remembers that to this day. In fact, that's one of his favorite movies, because he and I, went without my mom. Without my mom.
Right.
Yeah, of course we went without my mom. I had permission for her to go. We went without, without Teresa. Just JD and I went and saw it, and he remembers that. That's a big memory to him.
It's another one I remember doing. Night of the Living Dead with my dad. There was a midnight midnight showing of Night of the Living Dead back when I was a kid. He took me, my brother, and a friend of mine, and when we were on the way home that night, I guess it was 2 in the morning or so. Boy, I can remember with the dark around us and just like the movie staying with me as a kid, and that memory will never go away. So it's a way to bridge the generations with it, when it's done right, and to enjoy a memory of mom, dad, or whoever you went to see the movie with. So the memories are fun, and they'll always bring us back, and that's why Everything Old is New Again, why people do want to see Jurassic World again. And by the way, Star Wars is coming out with a J.J. Abrams incarnation, I believe, in this Christmas time. So it keeps coming back, and one of the reasons is because I think we love the memories and the thoughts that went through our head with our family or whoever we saw these particular movies with the first time.
Well, what are we going to talk about this week on Everything Old is New Again?
Well, we've got our final of 6 shows that we've been doing, the best TV theme song of all time, and this week we do the drama, and we're going to do a nice little duel. I have my sword sharpened, and through the magic of radio, Dave and I do a sword fight where we basically throw one song after the next at each other in a creative effort to figure out what is the best TV theme song for the drama category of all time, and then we move on from this category. Believe it or not, we've done 6 shows about TV theme songs. Who would have thought? I
think probably I would give my vote to Dragnet.
Interesting, yes. Because it's so memorable, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you do a couple of bars and everyone knows what that song is.
Yeah, that would probably be my number one drama. Would you count that as a drama or a cop show?
I would definitely count that as a drama. I think that's part of how we start off, because believe it or not, you'll hear us start with like the Partridge Family and Lost in Space, and I'm going to see if I could tie in those to this topic as well. but most recently there's quite a few. Game of Thrones is a real great one. Black Sails. Walking Dead is a great, memorable one. So there's some great contemporary ones as well. Mission Impossible. So we're going to see. We have a different type of evaluation we're going to make. I'll leave that to the listener to tune in to see what are the rules as to why we find one better than another, and just jog your brain with a bunch of clips. It's a lot of fun show. I really enjoyed doing these 6 weeks of TV theme songs on Everything Old is New Again.
All right, you just jogged my memory on there's a show that just recently went off the air. It was on the FX channel. It was called Justified. That was a great theme song. And who could forget the Sopranos theme song?
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's part of it, too, is like the Sopranos theme song was not made for the Sopranos itself. It was a song that they just adopted. So we talk about that a little bit, too, and see what songs were made for the show versus ones that are adopted, and is there a different evaluation? Should we give credit to someone that created a original work just for the TV show, or does something like Sopranos count on our list? A little bit of an argument that you love to have, as we like to say.
Yeah.
It sounds silly, but it's a lot of fun.
So in all these shows, who did you come up with as the most prolific composer of TV theme songs?
There was Jerry Goldsmith, who's done quite a few. Henry Mancini, and it just goes on and on. But those two are big. And Mike Post, who's a recent one, who did Greatest American Hero and Magnum P.I., is much revered in this field. So we did a show on that, show number 3, I think it was. You can really dig into this topic, believe it or not, and have some fun. But a lot of these people went on. The person that Spielberg loves to work with did many of these. And on top of my head, I can't think of his name. I'm blanking on that. But
the composer?
Yes, he did Jaws and Star Wars.
Isn't it John Williamson or John?
Yes, exactly, John Williams. So he's the most prolific. He's even won an Oscar. So I would say that he would be the Babe Ruth of this team.
Well, tell you what I want you to do. I want you to hook up your webcam in the studio on Saturday, because I want to see you and Dave do this little sword fight.
We will do so. We'll put it on our on the web and come back and report. Hopefully, I don't have too many Band-Aids on next week when we appear for our discussion next Friday.
Great. Douglas Viviani and David Cohn, they're the hosts every week of Everything Old is New Again here on 1340 KVGC, 6 o'clock every Saturday. Doug, have a great weekend, a great show tomorrow night, and we'll talk with you again on Friday.
Thank you so much, Jim. You too. Enjoy the weekend.
All right.
Take care.